My mom and I had a very, maybe overused thing, she was my best friend, but she really was. And in 2016, my mom was diagnosed with small cell squamous cancer in the lungs. And I just went numb, and I didn't know how to handle that. And that one night, the kids were there, and I went downstairs, and she took her last 6 breaths in my arms. There were various times when, insurance did not cover certain equipment, certain appointments that she needed. That equated into, having to dip into my 401k. When she passed away, I was drained. I simply couldn't afford to keep the home. So we lost the home. That's the home that I had grown up in. That's the home that, all of my memories were in, the home where my mom had passed away. And it wasn't easy for me. So now, technically, I was homeless. I'm in a situation where I'm grieving, I've got to keep these 3 kids stable, and I'm having to deal with moving. And it was so much. I'm moving into this house, and I didn't have anything. And I'm thinking to myself, I could sleep on the floor. How do I do this for my kids? Coincidentally, that year, my children's school had adopted Beds for Kids as their charity. We pick a charity every year. And my kids' guidance counselor, she had been keeping up with my situation. And she said, well, Angie, if it's okay with you, I'm going to reach out to them and see if, they can help you out with, at least some beds for your children. I said, absolutely. And she came back, she said, Angie, great news, we can get some bed. And, I picked the time. I was just really grateful that a community organization was there to help me out, and I could keep my dignity. And the truck pulls up, and I'm so thankful. I'm like, my kids are gonna get beds. And so they opened the back, and then all of these things started coming off of the truck. There was a living room table. There were 2 sofas, a dining room table, a bed for myself, beds for my kids. That truck pulling up at my home is one of the most vivid memories of my adulthood, and I just was so thankful for that sense of community. When I picked my kids up from school that day, their shock and expression outbeat mine by miles. That day, it was furniture for kids, it was dining room for kids, it was kitchen for kids, bedroom for mom. It was just such a celebratory day. I could provide all the love, I could provide us going forward. But Beds for Kids provided things that I couldn't have then. And I'm eternally grateful for that. What really stood out for me, it wasn't just the sofa. It was the person that brought the sofa in. It was the person's spirit that brought the sofa in. It was praying standing in front of the sofa. All of that made a difference. It wasn't a handout. It changed my life. It supported me being a mom. Again, those are benefits that no one could have told me were going to come from someone coming in your house and bringing furniture. Beds for Kids have provided this. I've provided this. Now, how do I provide more? I can't imagine those first days getting back out there if I would have had to eventually get those things myself, the amount of time that it would have taken. It totally changed my kid's life in a matter of hours. And I'm so grateful for that.